Now, it's the end of September and the beginning of October, and kids are back in school, the university and the college is back in the swing of things, and the Lethbridge housing market is just coming out of the summer rush, which was absolutely nuts. Now, Lethbridge seems to follow Calgary in a lot of ways in terms of our housing market, but this summer has definitely been an exception, as we saw over 1,080 homes sold between April and August of this summer, and last summer between the same time frame we saw 10,032, which is up 5% from the same time last year, which means the market here is continuing to heat up. Now, not only that, but our average home price here has actually significantly increased from 337,000 back in 2023 to now up to 378,000 year to date, which is unprecedented for our market, as Lethbridge is historically very steady with only small increases year to year, with home prices seeing of 11% from last year to this year is absolutely crazy to see. But what's kind of interesting here is that we saw our housing price peak in June and July of this year, where the average home price was selling for $395,000 at the top of our peak, whereas in August we saw that slump a little bit and the average home price fell to $384,000 or $384,000. Whereas last year, we didn't really see that trend, where in July is where we actually saw one of our cheapest months for average home price sold, which was $319,000. So it led me to think, what's going on here? Well, I did some digging. And if you overlay the months of inventory with that average home price, you'll see that our months of inventory sat around 2 months every single month. Whereas last year, we were sitting anywhere between 3 and 5 months of inventory, which basically means that there is way more listings on the market at that time. There were more homes to choose from, and there were more deals to be had by buyers. And this year, we had much fewer homes available on the market. In fact, from January to August in 2023, we had 4,936 active listings, and from this year, from January to August, we only had 3,442 active listings. Now, if you circle back to that first number I told you about, which was the number of sales, and we expand that to include all sales from September to August in 2023, which was 1,409, and this year from that same time period was 1,539. So to recap, the Lethbridge market had fewer listings than last year, but we actually had more sales than last year, which is why these housing prices have screamed up higher and higher. But I do have to ask, if you are a homeowner in Lethbridge and you've thought about listing your home and you've just put it off and you just don't want to list, you're going to wait a year or two, can you please let me know down in the comments? Is it the interest rates? Do you feel like everything has just gotten too expensive? I don't know what it is, but tell me down below, because we have seen a record low amount of listings. And as a realtor, we need this to change. And that's not because that I'm too slow or I want more listings or anything. I would just really want to go back to more of a balanced market. And right now we are in a hot seller's market, which is obviously good for sellers, but can make it very difficult for buyers out there. And in turn, it actually makes it hard for sellers too, because most of the sellers that I run into, they want to list their home, but as soon as they list it, they're thinking, well, my home's going to sell right away and sure, I'm going to get good money for it, but where am I going to move to? Because there's no active listings on the market right now. But of course, that's not going to change unless you sellers start listing, and then there'll be more inventory out there for everybody. So we're just kind of stuck in this weird cycle right now. And as I mentioned, I just think every seller is kind of thinking about this the same way, and we're not going to fix this unless we get more listings on the market. Now, as I kind of alluded to as well, this market for the past 3 quarters of this year already has been super stressful for buyers. Sellers, yes. For realtors, especially, we certainly have feelings too. And in this market, things can move super quickly. And yes, we still are seeing competing offers right now. If it's not competing offers, we're seeing homes sell very close to the list price in a very short amount of time. But the really stressful thing here is the timing. If you're a buyer and stepping into this market can seem very rushed and overwhelming. And when you only get to see 5 or 6 properties and you have to make a decision right now, or else that property just could be gone. And for sellers, the stress really sets in when you list your home and you have no idea where you're going to move yet. However, whether you're a buyer or a seller in this market, there are things that either me or my team can do to help you to protect yourself and to relieve some of that stress, like adding in a seller's commission, or on the buyer side, ensuring that we show you the comps to make sure that you're not overpaying for your next property. But I do hope that over the next couple months that we do see the trend of more properties hitting the market to ease those inventory issues. And hopefully with those more listings, we're going to ultimately slow this increase of home price and extend the days on market just a little bit and bring us more back to a balanced market. One of those things that could help us come back to that balanced market, or could actually make things even way more tighter, is the dropping of interest rates. And finally, those interest rate drops have already happened, and we can expect more to come. However, these interest rates can be a little bit of a double-edged sword. And I've said this for a long time, but I think one of the reasons that homeowners are not willing to sell right now is because many of them are locked into low interest rates of around 2% from 3 to 4 years ago. And the thought of breaking that low interest rate scares off a lot of sellers from wanting to sell. They don't want to move houses and break their mortgage and start a whole new mortgage at, 4 or 5% interest rate. However, with the new fixed rates coming in as low as 3.99, that could entice more sellers to want to list in order to upgrade or downsize or what have you. But on the opposite end, what this could also do is bring more buyers into the market, because obviously a lower interest rate incentivizes more buyers and makes it a little bit more affordable for them to get into the market, which could actually upset this balance of inventory even further, and it could make the market more competitive and continue to drive prices up. And unfortunately, only time will tell if this will actually be the case. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this market update. And if there's some things in this video that you would like me to elaborate on a little bit more in the next one, or if there's some stats that you're curious about, or you want my opinion on, just leave a comment down below. I sincerely appreciate it. My name's Kurtis Hawkins with the Real Estate One team. And if you guys liked this video and want to see more podcasts or more videos like this or more home tours, there's a whole playlist right over here with some other videos. Or if you never want to miss another one, just hit the subscribe button right over here. Thanks. Bye.